Hey there guys, welcome back to Pickleball Paddle Reviews. Today I will be doing something a little bit different. I will be doing a live review of the Revo Pier while I'm playing with the paddle and showing some rec play footage. Now, I'm going to go over what I liked about it, some stats about it maybe, but I will have an actual full review for the paddle. I just wanted to show some live gameplay and also my thoughts on it while I was playing with the paddle. And of course, a little bit of notes that I have of it now that I've played with the paddle for a little bit over 30 hours. All right, so I normally play this paddle after I've played with my go-to paddle, which is the AMA NXT01 Max. I'm just the most comfortable with that paddle and will play with that most often. Now, I really like changing up and jumping into this paddle because this paddle's not going to produce as much power or spin, but it makes me play way more consistent, because I have to rely on myself, like my legs, my body, and my arm to produce power and aim. And I think that's really good for me because when I switch back to the AMA, I feel like I can do a little less and rely on the paddle more. Not to say that this paddle is any worse or any better than the AMA. I just think they're different paddles. This one is making me a better player in some ways than the AMA. All right. So the Revo Pier, like I said, I've played with for 30 hours. I think it is Gen 3 tech. It has foam around the edge and a honeycomb core. And for me, it did require a break-in period. I think it took about 10 hours of play before I really felt like the power of it stabilized. In the beginning, I was having a lot of trouble with figuring out like what was going on with the paddle, because I would also, sometimes I like to play kind of casually, and I would just hit kind of a dead hit. And the paddle did not respond well to that. What I found was that if you used like 0 to 20% of your power when you swung at a ball, this paddle did not respond well to that. It would feel like you were hitting a dead ball. And once you adjusted and always chose to make sure you were putting at least 20% of your power to 80% behind each swing, the paddle played way better. And it was kind of weird that that happened, but understandable. It was my lazy play that really affected that range of the paddle. But, I didn't have this issue with other paddles. I'm just strangely felt that way about the Revo. Anyway, right there, I make a bad swing and doesn't really drop in. All right. So here comes my partner's serve. Let's see if it comes to me. Nope. Ooh. My partner hits a beautiful drop as they're coming in and straight to their forehand side. So they were not paying attention there. And I think he does this a few times this game and gets both of them. Of course, he also then hits a out ball on his serve. Very unfortunate, but it happens to anyone. Another thing I wanted to say about this paddle is that the grit is interesting because it uses something called basalt, which is a volcanic material. And it's different from carbon in that it doesn't produce as much spin, but I mean, it's said to be more durable. And one of the interesting things is the face definitely doesn't look as scratched up as my carbon face on the AMA. It kind of looks pretty good still. It is showing, for some reason, now the honeycomb core on the face. Maybe it's just like how the face ended up being. Look at that. He hits a beautiful drop again, this time behind her. So that was just a beautiful placement. Yeah. I hold the Eastern grip and kind of hit a weird serve there, and my partner is doing all the work. There I am watching him. Good job. Me telling him that he's taking over my video. All right. So normally try to hit topspin serves very deep into the court. Ooh. Hit a nice down the line drive. One guy says it's in, one guy says it's out. I kind of get confused, but they agree that it's probably in. So we continue. And yeah, so for this paddle, I'm not as confident in hitting, even though that was a very lazy drive. I'm not as confident in hitting that style of drive. And that is because I'm not getting the spin that I normally do on my AMA. That doesn't mean that I'm not getting a lot of topspin, but the amount is a little less. So I have to be a little more careful on where I'm hitting the drive, especially if I'm a little bit high. I am a little bit more, what's it called? I'm a little more afraid to hit those drives. I'm not sure if they're going to go in as often as when I'm playing with my AMA. Ooh. And of course, I also hit a net ball right there. I think it is the start of a few errors on my end. I'm kind of remembering this game. I'm playing way too casually right now. My partner hits a soft return, so I just prepare for the worst right there. Goofing off a little. All right. So, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I do tend to also switch my grip on the paddle from Eastern to Continental quite a few times throughout the game. And, you know, this paddle is not very conducive to a lot of switches. And the reason being is the hilt at the bottom of the handle doesn't feel quite right. I don't know how to explain it. It has like a very like pronounced angle on the hilt. And for some reason that just doesn't feel right to me. And I've given it to other people to try out, and they also do not seem to like the handle like I do. I also feel the handle circumference is a little small. It's probably be better to put some overgrip for this particular paddle for me, but I did not. I just decided to continue using the factory grip, and it's honestly a pretty nice grip. It's like this faux leather, might even be real leather, I'm not 100% sure. It feels really nice and it looks nice. I feel like it's also breaking in as well, because it feels a little better now that I've played with it longer. But like I said, paddle handle kind of feels small. Now, some people are going to ask about the power on this paddle. Because it's Gen 3, I think you won't be disappointed by the power. But if you're expecting like a rocket launcher, you're definitely not getting one of those. You're going to get decent pop. And like I said, at the lower ends of power, you're going to notice that it's not very good. Like right there, I probably normally would get it over, but because I was trying to cut down my power down to like 10-20%, that's the type of response I get from the paddle. Of course, you could say, yeah, be better, put 20% in. You already know this. Sometimes, your body just reacts, and that's what's going to happen, and you're just going to have to get used to it. Yeah. Overall, I really like this paddle now that I've played with it for the 30 to 40 hours. It's a very interesting paddle. Oh, over there, I serve a little too far and get it out. Partner hits a good return. Ooh, hit a weird flick. Ooh. And I'm attacking those at net level, so nothing impressive there. He's just a little bit new, so he's hitting it directly at me, so it's a little bit easier to counter those. So I think this is near the end of the first game that I'll be doing with the paddle. And I think my partner finishes it out. And I don't get any good drives I want to talk about on this one. Besides that one right down the middle. Yeah, I do want to say that it feels good hitting drives on this. Ooh. Nice little finisher there. They popped it up a little bit too much. Ooh. And as you can see, when I hit my forehand, it dives right at their feet at the kitchen. So it does make it a little bit hard to hit. And, the grit and spin on this paddle does make it possible that you can hit drives into the kitchen like that. And that was the end of the first game. Very fun. And we'll move on to a second game. So here's the start of the second game. Like I said before, this is a hybrid paddle. So I think, yeah, it's great for all court. You're going to get a little bit of power, a little bit of control. The dwell time on this paddle, I don't know if I've already talked about, is very, very good. So I'm very confident in hitting very high balls like that. Of course, I hit the first one out right when I'm doing commentary about it. But yeah, I'm very confident on hitting high top spinny ball serves. And I don't usually hit those. I just typically hit them when I'm playing casually, hoping that I can keep them as far back as possible. This is my friend Gary across there. He plays a lot of racquetball. You're going to see his stance kind of closed up and using a lot of wrists. He's still working on getting his hits changed up to get into a pickleball kind of style. My partner perfectly sets himself up there for a kill. All right. Kind of hit a slower serve there. Pop it up a little high. Ooh. Ooh. Kind of hit two rolls as they hit it back towards me, and they hit it towards my body, and I'm able to get out of the way. Yeah. And I said before, I do change my grip a lot, and it looks like I keep an Eastern after I notice that he returns the ball to me so that I can hit a very dippy forehand. And as you can see on that, it was effective. Ooh. And of course, right after that, my partner hits it right at him, and he hits it right behind me. Which is a good hit. Ooh. A little too strong, and he hits it out. So another thing I wanted to talk about the paddle was its overall balance. I did feel that this paddle was a little bit top heavy, so it would probably do well with some weight at the base, maybe even on the handle, because if you're not used to it, it just feels a little bit too top heavy. I tried putting 2 3-gram pieces of lead tape on the bottom, but then it felt a little too heavy for me, so I just like playing with it naked, and I wasn't playing with it very seriously, so I had decided not to add any more lead tape to it and play with it just pure. To give a quick synopsis, I honestly would think that this paddle gets a 7 for power, a 9 for control, and maybe like a 7 for spin as well. It's overall a very good performing paddle. If you're going to be hitting the heck out of it, you're going to get decent power. And if you really like control paddles, this is definitely in between that. You're going to get good control and decent dwell time with, quite a bit of pop from the power it gives. Now you're definitely not going to get a lot of spin like the grittier paddles, but you're going to get a decent amount of spin here. And the claim to fame for the Basalt is also that it will last a little longer than carbon. You're going to get something that is natural and will last. And that is still to see. I am excited to see if this thing will last longer than carbon. But, I think it looks great still, considering how long I've played with it. And so I'm quite confident it will probably last that long. Now, if you do want to check out the paddle, I'm going to link an affiliate link down below for the paddle on Amazon. I don't think I have an affiliate with Revolin right now, but I'll ask them and see if they're willing, and if they do, I'll include that down below. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I think this game is about to end. I do screw up a few times here, so I'll just kind of finish commentating here. My friend Gary serves, and we're screwing around here a little bit, and they're catching up. I think we're in the lead, but we had screwed up there a few times. Ooh, and they unfortunately don't catch the ball down the middle. That's probably one of the clear ways to tell when people haven't really played with each other that often, is that they don't know who gets middle. Ooh. And that's the game. Alright, thank you for watching, guys. Once again, feel free to check out my other videos. Subscribe and like if you like the content. And if you like this kind of review, please let me know. Alright, bye.